Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Business. Today's mini episode is about choice, about whether we are really making choices or whether we are simply reacting inside a system that has already decided for us. Because sustainability is still presented as a choice, a leadership position, a mindset, a preference, and that framing is wrong. The question is not whether we choose sustainability. The real question what follows from that so-called choice, and do we still have time to choose at all? Sustainability was placed in the wrong category from the very beginning. It was framed as value instead of constraints, leadership instead of governance, reporting instead of enforcement, language instead of measurable reality. As a result, a physical and scientific problem was turned into a narrative one. But systems don't respond to narratives, they respond to limits. And when a system reaches physical or ecological limits, choice disappears. If we go back to the intellectual roots of modern economics, we find the logic that shaped today's system. Milton Friedman argued that the primary responsibility of business is to increase shareholder value. That idea did not include planetary boundaries. It did not include ecological thresholds. It assumed infinite growth inside a finite world. At the time, this assumption went largely unquestioned. And by the moment we started to seriously understand climate systems, biodiversity loss, material depletion, and cumulative environmental damage, the damage was already done. Sustainability is a very young discipline, unlike physics or mathematics. It did not arrive with the formulas, constants, or stable models. There was no unified operating system, no shared enforcement logic, no global mechanism for consequences. So, what actually happened? Every region built its own rules, its own regulators, its own taxes, credits, quotas, reporting systems. The result is fragmentation. A system split into pieces that cannot operate as a whole. Today, sustainability discussions are filled with the finance, regulations, and frameworks. We talk about like green finance, ESG scores, carbon markets, transition plans, long term targets. And yet, everything moves painfully slowly. And the reason here is simple. We are still behaving as if time is an available resource. But science does not offer guarantees, it offers probability ranges. Scientists model tipping points, they estimate thresholds, they project scenarios. And no one can tell us exactly what happens once a system crosses a point of no return. What we know is this: changes are already happening, they're already affecting water systems, food systems, energy systems, health systems, and social stability. If we continue to delay decisions, there will be a moment when decisions making itself disappears. We will not be choosing anymore. We will be operating in survival mode, not in decision mode. Now let's talk about circular economy. In its original meaning, it was a serious concept with the reuse, life extension, repair, material loops, system redesign. But over the time, something happened. Circular economy became marketing language. We now debate which soap to buy, whether packaging is eco, whether a Christmas tree is plastic or real, whether a label says recycle. This creates noise. It shifts attention away from system level damage toward consumer level moral comfort. As product design matters, Yes, circularity can reduce harm, but let's be honest. Most products are designed as waste from the very beginning. Consumers don't design supply chains, don't design extraction systems, don't design materials flows. The economic model already decided the outcome. What we call choice is often just selection between predefined options, none of which change the system itself. So we argue about soap while oceans fill with plastic and atmospheric systems destabilize. That is not transition, that is a destruction. Another critical failure is reporting without enforcement. When measurement exists without consequence, reporting becomes documentation without accountability. Compliance becomes voluntary optics, responsibility shifts from systems to individuals, and harm continues while being beautifully described. This is not governance, this is managed ignorance. We measure collapse while allowing it to proceed. Calling sustainability a choice has a cost. It delays action, protects existing economic structures, avoids hard constraints, externalizes damage. The result is not transformation, it is managed deterioration. We are no longer debating prevention, we are operating near or beyond critical thresholds. This is no longer about inspiration, long term visions, leadership language, 2050 promises. It is about limits, enforcement, measurable consequences, system level constraint. Sustainability framed as a choice is the wrong choice, not because people choose badly, but because systems don't respond to choice. Systems respond to boundaries, cost, constraint, enforcement, consequences. Language does not stop collapse. Systems do. And beyond physical limits, there is no choice left. So at the end, sustainability is not a preference, it's not a mindset, and it's not a slogan. It is a boundary, and the boundaries they don't negotiate.